Top 10 Fastest Hatchbacks by Acceleration in 2025. 0 to 60 miles per hour. 10. 2025 VW Golf GTI Autobahn. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.6 seconds. Volkswagen's 2025 GTI Autobahn doesn't just feel quick, it proves it. Independent testing clocks the DSG GTI at 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.6 seconds, and that shove comes from smart hardware, not brute force. The 2-liter TSI makes 241 horsepower and 273 pound-feet, and the 7-speed dual-clutch snaps shifts so quickly that boost never falls between gears. Torque arrives early, gearing is short, and the VAQ electronic limited slip diff drags the nose straight when both front tires fight for grip, turning would-be spin into forward motion. Think of it as traction by brain power. Wheel speed sensors watch for slip, and the diff pinches the inside wheel to pull you cleanly out of the hole. On the street, the car feels lighter than the numbers, and that's why power you can actually use. Inside, a 12.9-inch touchscreen and a cleaner interface modernize the cockpit, while Autobahn comforts let you daily it without dulling the rush. Want extra sharpness on broken pavement? Tick DCC Adaptive Chassis Control. If not, the base tune keeps the ride tidy and the front end alert. MSRP for the 2025 Golf GTI Autobahn is $40,880. Launch mode was just the appetizer. There's a hatch on this list that triggers a 10-second power boost and fake gears to turn silence into mid-3 0 to 60. There's only one way to find out. 9. 2025 Toyota GR Corolla. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.9 seconds. Rally DNA meets launch discipline. For 2025, the GR Corolla adds an 8-speed Gazoo Racing Direct automatic with launch control and bumps torque to 295 pound-feet. The shove you feel right off the line. Independent testing of the new auto has clocked 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds, and Toyota's own claim sits at 4.9 seconds depending on conditions. Translation: instant punch, repeatable launches. Why it jumps so hard? GR4 all-wheel drive can swing torque rearward, down to 30/70 in track mode, so both rear tires push as the front pulls. Front and rear torque and limited slips are now standard, turning slip into thrust when you mat it out of a corner. Suspension tweaks, rebound springs, stiffer rear coils, and a raised trailing arm pivot fight squats and keep the contact patches loaded during hard launches. A reworked front bumper opens airflow for bigger brake ducts, and a Veil sub-radiator and a DAT fluid cooler, so power stays consistent run after run. Inside, it's purpose-built without going bare bones. 12.3-inch digital cluster, 8-inch multimedia with wireless CarPlay Android Auto, optional head-up display, Premium Plus, and suede trim sports seats that hold you tight when boost hits. Price starts at $38,860. 8. 2025 Honda Civic Type R. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.9 seconds. Manual only and laser focused on speed, the 2025 Civic Type R hits harder than you expect from a front driver. Its turbocharged 2-liter makes 315 horsepower and 310 pound-feet across a broad 2,600 to 4,000 RPM band, so thrust arrives early and stays on boil between shifts. Car and driver clock 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds and a 13.5-second quarter. A helical limited slip differential and Honda's dual-axis front strut geometry rein in torque steer and turn power into clean launch bite. Cooling upgrades: a 48% larger grille opening, bigger radiator, and high flow fan hold intake temps during back-to-back runs. Short gearing and rev-match downshifts keep the turbo eager, and active exhaust is quiet and comfort, then snarls past 4,000 RPM. Inside, it's purpose-built without feeling punishing. Red Ultra Suede buckets, red carpet, a 10.2-inch digital cluster, and a 9-inch touchscreen with wireless CarPlay Android Auto and Honda Log R 2.0. A 12-speaker Bose system handles cool-down duty. MSRP is $45,895. If hot hatch speed gets your heart racing, subscribe now. The next entries turn traction tricks into tenths. 7. 2025 BMW M135i xDrive. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.8 seconds. BMW's smallest M doesn't win the drag race by brute force. It does it with launch discipline. The revised 2-liter twin-power turbo is rated at 300 horsepower and 295 pound-feet, fed through a 7-speed dual-clutch and xDrive ADW, so boost stays on boil and traction isn't a coin toss. Officially, it fires at 60 miles per hour in 4.8 seconds, repeatable wet or dry. Why it leaves cleanly? The adaptive M chassis, standard here, lowers the body 8 mm and adds sport steering, while the latest near actuator slip control and stiffer subframe mounts keep the front tires keyed in when torque hits. Extra caster up front stabilizes the nose under hard launches, and xDrive shuffles shove rearward as the surface demands. For heavy use, the M Technology package unlocks Forged 19S and M compound brakes, lighter unsprung mass, stronger stops. Cabin tech matches the pace. The BMW curved display, 10.25-inch cluster plus 10.7-inch touchscreen, runs Operating System 9 with Quick Select, trimming menus and letting you tap, go, and drive. Vaganza Alcantara sports seats are standard on the M135, holding you steady without punishing daily commutes. Price: UK MSRP starts at £41,825. Spec it right, and you're getting an all-weather sub-5-second pace without super hatch bills. 6. 2025 Mercedes-AMG A35 4MATIC. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds. AMG made the A35 quicker by filling the gaps. A 48-volt mid-hybrid system adds an electric nudge off the line, so the Turbo 4 doesn't wait to wake up. Then the AMG SpeedShift DCT-8G fires through ratios so boosts never drop between gears. Officially, the hatch does 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds, a number it repeats because the electronics manage traction, not luck. The recipe is simple and smart. A 2.0-liter making 306 horsepower and 295 pound-feet, variable AMG performance 4MATIC that meters torque front to rear, and race start launch logic that preloads the driveline before you release the brake. Translation: the car leaves hard, straight, and the same way every time. On bumpy tarmac, the available AMG ride control adaptive dampening keeps the contact patches planted, so you get shove instead of wheel spin. Cabin pace matches the stopwatch. Twin 10.25-inch displays running MBUX, an AMG wheel with alloy paddles, and available AMG track pace telemetry for your 0 to 60 in sector times. Everyday bits. Wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, and proper driver aids make the speed easy to live with. Starting price: £47,610. 5. 2025 Audi S3 Sportback. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds. Small hatch, big brain. The facelifted S3's 2.0-liter TFSI EA88 Gen 4 now makes the 328 horsepower and 310 pound-feet, and Audi reshaped how it delivers. Quicker 7-speed S-tronic shifts and a preloaded turbo for earlier torque hit. Net effect: less weight, more shove. Traction is the headline act. The RS3 style torque splitter can overdrive the outside rear wheel, pivoting the car and turning would-be wheel spins into forward motion. Paired with a Quattro and S Sport suspension, launches are tidy and repeatable. Audi quotes 4.6 seconds to 60 miles per hour for the Sportback, while the US sedan with the same powertrain lists 4.4 seconds to 60. Either way, it leaves hard and keeps pulling. Inside, it's clinical in the best way. 12.3-inch Virtual Cockpit Plus, 10.1-inch MMI with wireless phone mirroring and available Sonos 3D audio. Cool-down laps sound as good as the upshifts feel. Price in the UK starts at £48,985 for the Sportback. In the US, the mechanically similar S3 sedan starts at $48,700. If clean, repeatable 0 to 60 runs are your thing, tap subscribe. One of the final 4 goes fast the same way every time. 4. 2025 Volkswagen Golf R, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds. The MK A45 Golf R doesn't win the sprint with brute force, it wins with traction IQ. A retuned 2-liter EA888 makes 328 horsepower and 295 pound-feet, fed through a lightning-quick 7-speed DSG and R Performance 4 motion that can push torque to an individual rear wheel so the car pivots and leaves cleanly. VW claims 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. Independent estimates peg launches in the low 4s when grip is right. Why it hits so hard off the line? The torque vectoring rear diff turns would-be wheel spin into forward shove. DCC adaptive damping keeps the contact patches loaded, and the DSG short seamless upshift keeps boost on the boil. Take the R Performance package and you unlock special, Nürburgring, and drift profiles plus a raised 168 mph limiter. Party tricks that also help repeatable straight launches. Optional 19-inch Warmann forged wheels trim upspring mass for shorter bite. Inside, the facelift fixes the ergonomics. A 12.9-inch MIB4 touchscreen is standard, and the sliders are backlit, while xDrive comes baked in. It's a quick car you can drive daily without drama, starting at $47,100. 3. 2025 Mercedes-AMG A45 S, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.8 seconds. The A45 S launches like a slingshot because everything in the drivetrain is built to keep thrust continuous. AMG's M139 2.0-liter makes 421 horsepower and 369 pound-feet. Still among the most potent production 4s, and it feeds an AMG SpeedShift DCT-8G with race start, so the turbo never falls off boost between shifts. Result: an official 0 to 62 miles per hour in 3.9 seconds, about 3.8 seconds to 60. The secret sauce is the rear axle. AMG Performance 4MATIC Plus with AMG Torque Control uses 2 clutch packs, one per rear half shaft, to push torque to the outside wheel as you launch and rotate, turning would-be slip into forward motion, and enabling that party trick drift mode off the street. Lag minimized. The twin-scroll turbo rides roller bearings and an electronic wastegate for quicker response and high stable boost, one clean shove from the first foot. Inside, it's stopwatch meets studio. Twin 10.25-inch MBUX displays with AMG track pace telemetry, an AMG performance steering wheel, and deep bolstered buckets. Cooldown laps soundtracked by real performance sound, starting at around 63,745 pounds. 2. 2025 Audi RS3 Sportback, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.7 seconds. 5-cylinder thunder, launch control discipline. The RS3's 2.5-liter TFSI lays down 395 horsepower and 369 pound-feet, so torque is already on the table before the first upshift. Audi quotes 3.8 seconds to 62 miles per hour. In US terms, that's high 3s to 60, and independent testing of the same powertrain has dipped to 3.2 seconds when grip and rollout are ideal. Why it leaves so cleanly? Quattro with the RS torque splitter replaces a conventional rear diff with 2 clutch packs, one per half shaft, overdriving the outside rear wheel to turn would-be slip into rotation and forward shove. For 2025, Audi sharpened the control logic that coordinates the splitter, brake-based vectoring, and dampers. More data, faster decisions, tidier launches. The 7-speed S-tronic keeps the turbo on boil with near seamless shifts, so thrust never falls between gears. Inside, it's stopwatch meets studio. 12.3-inch virtual cockpit plus with RS Shift Light runway view, a 10.1-inch MMI touchscreen, and available RS bucket seats. A Sonos 3D system is offered, standard in some UK specs, for the cool-down lap home. Price in the UK starts at £62,120 for the Sportback. Ferocious 5-cylinder pace and repeatable sub-4-second launches in a hatch you can daily. Final contender. No smoke, no drama, just detonation. The stopwatch will need a second take to believe what it sees. 1. 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5N, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.25 seconds. This one doesn't just launch, it detonates. Dual motors in an 84 kilowatt-hour pack feed 601 horsepower and 545 pound-feet, or 641 horsepower, 568 pound-feet for 10 seconds via in-grin boost through all four wheels, and the factory launch program delivers a verified 3.25 second 0 to 60. The trick is continuity. The 800V architecture shoves big current quickly, while a two-stage inverter and upgraded cooling, separate radiators for battery and motors, enhanced oil cooler and chiller keep full shove run after run. Traction is software sharp. In-torque distribution lets you set front-rear bias in 11 steps. A rear e-LSD meter twists side to side, and in-launch control preloads everything so the first foot is clean, not scrabbly. If you want theatrics after the hit, in-drift optimizer and torque kick oblige. But the stopwatch loves how calmly it hooks and goes. Regenerative in-brake regen adds up to 0.6 G of decibel, blending seamlessly with big friction brakes to reset for the next sprint. Cabin. Track lab meets lounge. 12.3-inch clusters plus 12.3-inch infotainment, in eShift and in Active Sound Plus, fake gears, real grin. Bolstered in seats, a fixed console with knee pads, and dedicated in buttons for instant full send. Hyundai announced US MSRP $66,100. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.